Hi there, this is Christopher with Shining 3D, bringing you the latest news in our AccuWare updates. In today's video, we'll be going over the changes made in the recent update to AccuWare, the 3.2.1.8 version of the software. With the new update to AccuWare, you'll notice that the UI has been overhauled, making it a nice and sleek interface. On the home screen, you'll be presented with the Print Settings menu, which will have similar options to in the previous version, just more laid out visually. So it may look like there's a lot of options here, but they are the exact same as in the previous version, with the printer selection at the top via this drop-down menu here. You can select which type of printer you'll be printing with, as well as the serial number of the printer you're going to be using. The Import Printer Profile menu has been added to the top right of the screen, so you can click this button here to open up that menu. On first-time use of the software, it will automatically bring up this menu for you to import the printer profile, either via the USB flash drive included with the printer or on the Wi-Fi network. Once we've selected our printer, we can select our platform size, and then we can move to the Materials tab. So here you'll be shown an array of the various resins for each brand. So you can use this drop-down menu to select your brand of choice, and then you can select the resin for that brand. We've added these guidance options to give you an idea of how each material type should be nested, as well as some post-processing information. We'll be adding images of the resins as we go, so those will be added in future updates. Next, you'll select your layer thickness, and there are some additional options in the More Settings menu. If you use a material more than 3 times, it will be added to the Commonly Used Materials menu. So here we can select ODO2 and then our layer thickness, and select Next to go into the next step. On the left side of the screen, you'll see the 3 options for the Print menu. The Printer List, which will show you all of the printers you have available on your Wi-Fi network. And if the printer is running the latest firmware version, you can also see what print jobs you have available in the queue. You can start these prints straight from AccuWare. Next, we have the Accu collection. This is where the design modules can be found, such as AccuDesign, our model builder, Cree IBT, our indirect bonding tray design module, Cree Temp, our single unit temporary crown design module, and Cree Splint, our night guard design module. On the bottom left side of the screen is the settings menu, which will have all of the normal settings you're used to in AccuWare, such as the language selection, unit of measure, which printers appear in the main menu, as well as some print settings and a new mode choose. So the mode that you have selected will determine how AccuWare will function. We have our general mode, which will be used for most cases, and then multi-platform mode, which we'll go into in a little bit. Under that, we have our accuracy calibration and material manager. The material manager will be where you manage the settings for each resin profile. And if you have engineer mode enabled, you can export and import materials, as well as tweak the settings for the given profile. In order to activate engineer mode, we'll need to log into our Shining 3D account. So this icon at the bottom, called Passport, will allow you to sign into your Shining 3D account, activate engineer mode. When you're signed into your Shining 3D account, you will have access to the design modules as well as our cloud connectivity. So if we select the cloud icon here, it'll bring us to the Dental 3D cloud. Here, we can go to the Printer tab and select Printers. And we can bind our printers to our cloud account so we can monitor their activity online, check their print queue, rearrange the queue, and check statistics for the printer usage and material usage. In this update, we will also be introducing our cloud slicing function. So if we select this slicing tab here, we can create new application profiles, select our one-click printing type. We can select our printer type, the platform size, as well as the printer we'll be printing on, and our material. Once you create a profile, you can select it from this list, hit next, and then import model files from your computer or from orders you've created on your cloud account. Once loaded in, we can simply select next in order to do the auto nesting. This is going to run a one-click print for whatever application you had selected in the previous step. And for restoration orthodontic model, it will add a honeycomb structure as well as drain holes to the model to ensure good printing results. Once the auto layout is complete, you'll see your model here. And we can go ahead and hit slice and save if we want to save the slice file to our computer to transfer via USB. Or we can select slice and print to send it directly to the printer's queue. Above the cloud menu in AccuWare is the help menu. Here we can find access to the online user manual. This is updated frequently. It's a live version of our user manual where you can access each step of the slicing process as well as information on what each function does. Next to that is the shortcut instructions. Here you can see some shortcuts for the software, including the copy and paste, deleting models, and how to manage the camera. Also in the help menu is our new user guide. This will be a helpful tutorial bringing you through all of the steps of using AccuWare, showing you videos of each step as well as demonstrating it in the background. This will be helpful for first-time users especially, getting used to this new UI. There are two other options in this menu as well. The more help will bring you to our support center where you can look at articles and helpful tips on how to use AccuWare and the printers. And then remote tools will bring up TeamViewer if you are in need of assistance. Going back to the print menu, once we've selected our printer and material, we can select next to go into the data processing step. Here, this will work as the open file and layout section from our previous version of the software combined into one. We can open our files or drag and drop them from a File Explorer window to bring them into the software. And once we've loaded our models in, we can select our one-click printing applications from the left side. We have added denture base, IBT, and retainer to the list, making a total of 8 applications you can use with one-click printing. For ease of use, we can copy and paste this model to simulate having multiple ortho models. Run the one-click print for orthodontics models. The software is now going to automatically lay out, support, and slice the file to send straight to the printer. Once the slice is complete, you'll be brought to the Generate Image menu. This is the slicing results. It'll show you the estimated time for the print and estimated material usage as well. From here, we can send directly to the printer via the send option, or send directly to the printer and start the print with the print option. You can also use save to save the file to a USB flash drive to manually insert to the printer. With the orthodontic one-click printing, you'll see that it adds the horizontal stacking to it, so you can fit up to 20 models on your build platform in one print. So let's go through the manual nesting method. We'll import our file. And on the top of the screen, we'll have our usual layout tools. We have our auto layout, copy, move, rotate, and scale tools. If we have a file that imports into the software upside down, for instance, we can use the rotate tool, select flatten by face, and then click on the bottom surface of the model to snap it to the platform. You can tell that it's flush against the platform when you see this dark blue-gray outline on the bottom of the model. On the top is also our manual drain hole tool. Our auto drain hole tool and the shell and honeycomb tool. This can be used to add a honeycomb structure to any hollow model, or to hollow out any solid model and add the honeycomb structure in drain holes as well. So we'll select our model, hit generate, and the honeycomb structure will be added. This will increase the structural stability of the model, preventing any warping or trapped air from creating pressure difference inside. Once done, we can have a look at our honeycomb structure. There are also camera tools on the top right corner of the screen, so you can change your camera view pretty easily. You can also rotate with the right click and moving the mouse. On our left side is going to be our model list, as well as the details for the print setup, including the printer serial number, layer thickness, and selected material, as well as the current count of layers and the estimated time. Once we're done with the layout, we can go to the supports. If your model needs supports, we have our auto supports on the left side, with presets for each of the resin profiles. Here we can see the auto-generated supports, with the lip at the bottom of the support structure for easy removal with a spatula. This also makes the model easier to remove for the fab wash, so it's good to keep that in mind. If we need to adjust the supports manually, we can select manual support in the upper left corner, and rotate the model, and click on each dot to remove a support, or click on the model to add a support. I'll go ahead and clear these supports, and when we're ready to move on, we can hit next, and the software will slice the file. The slicing speeds have been increased, so you'll spend less time generating the sliced files. And again, we can send that directly to the printer over the Wi-Fi network. And here we can see the file being transferred to the printer over our Wi-Fi network. This printer list is also where you can monitor the status of a print. So if a printer is currently printing something, you can see how far along it is and how much time is remaining. So next, we're going to take a look at the multi-platform mode. So if we go into our settings, go to mode choose and select multi-platform and hit apply, it's going to restart the software in multi-platform mode. So once multi-platform mode is loaded, you'll notice that the home screen looks a little bit different. Instead of selecting a printer serial number, you'll be selecting just the printer type and the material. As well as the layer thickness. When we select next, you're going to see a list of all the printers you have available on your network that have parameters that match what you've selected. So in this case, I have two printers that have DMO3 loaded in. I'm going to bring in my model from before. And let's say we have a full case of models we need to print, or a lot of prints we want to get done in the same day. So we can load up to 50 models into the software at once. Select which printers we want to distribute these models onto, and then select one-click printing. We're going to select our model type and select generate. The software is now going to auto-nest all the models onto various platforms to distribute between the printers. You can select just one printer if you want to create multiple jobs for one printer, and then have those printed in succession. These will all be added to the printer's queue, and you can manually start the prints afterwards or rearrange the queue as needed. Please note, to use these features, you will need to update the firmware on your printer to be compatible with this version of AccuWare. There will be a notification on the home screen that an update is available to get that firmware updated. Once this process is complete, all the job files will be sent to the selected printers. On the printer list, you should be able to see the pending prints that have been added to the printer's queue. You can start the most recent one or select one to start with. If the printer is loaded and ready to go, the print can commence immediately. Next, we'll take a look at the changes to AccuDesign added in the 2.0 version of this module. If we open up AccuDesign, we'll be able to import an upper and lower jaw scan file that can then be processed into a printable model. First, we'll select Create New Project, and then we'll select our upper jaw. Then we can do the same for the lower jaw. Next, we can select our settings for the model creation, and compared to the previous version, this will be a much simpler workflow, as a lot of the trimming and adding of the base features will be automatic. So here we'll select our base type, and we'll add honeycomb. Next, we can choose any articulator settings, including for quadrant models, and we can add our text. As well as where we want the text to be positioned. When I hit auto generate, it's going to go ahead and trim the data for us, add the base, the honeycomb and drain holes, as well as the text. And here we have the finalized model with our drain holes, honeycomb structure, and added text. From here, you can export the model as a BEB to import into future prints, or you can send it directly to the printer and select a one-click printing type. That concludes our walkthrough of the software update. That concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching.